We're ready for language today, being Friday, April 17th. You will need page 152 out of your language book today. Only doing one page today. We are talking about comparisons today, comparing nouns, and how to spell these nouns when we're using them in comparing. Like if I think about my two dogs, I have Puppy, who is small, and then I have Judge, who is bigger. Puppy is smaller than Judge, and Judge is bigger than Puppy. So add -er, which means it's a suffix, goes at the end of the word, to an adjective when comparing two nouns. I just said Puppy is smaller than Judge, but Judge is bigger than Puppy, two nouns. Add -est suffix to an adjective when comparing three or more nouns. Okay? So when you have three or more nouns that you're comparing, let's say I had another little dog, and he was even smaller than Puppy. He would be the smallest. Puppy would be small. He would be the smallest of the three. Judge, I don't know, I guess there could be a dog bigger than Judge, but that dog, would be the biggest of Puppy, Judge, and this other dog. But if I had a little tiny dog, Puppy, and then Judge, Judge would be the biggest of the three. All right, so let's look. David is older than Stephen. You're comparing two boys, two nouns. David is the oldest boy in our class. So then that way you're comparing several boys in the class. So you see that he's like the main one, of the comparisons. Let's look at the spelling rules. Remember these spelling rules. When a root word ends with one consonant and a vowel is short, double the consonant before adding the suffix beginning with a vowel. We've talked about that before. The example there is big. If you add to it, you would have to make sure that you double the G's there. You don't want, to have a long vowel there. Look at the next dot. When a root word ends with a silent E, drop the E before adding a suffix that begins with a vowel. So they're taking large there, and they're adding ER. And if you notice the spelling, it is LARGER. It's not larger. If you didn't drop, you would have larger. Okay, so we don't want that. That would be the pronunciation of that word. So just drop the silent E, add your suffix, larger. And look at the bottom one. This Y still has that rule to it. When a root word ends with a consonant and Y, change the Y to I before adding the suffix beginning with an E. Happy plus the suffix est. I'm going to line this one up here real quick. EST. HAPPIEST. You change the Y to I there. All right, so let's look at Think A together. Use the spelling rules to add each suffix to the adjective. They start you off with an easy one. Warm. Warm. Nothing special there. It's not a vowel beside a consonant. It doesn't end in a vowel, and it doesn't end in a Y. So we're just going to go straight across here. So warm. So you're writing on your second column, warmer. Today is warmer than yesterday. Tomorrow will be the warmest. That's right. You're just adding EST. You're not changing the spelling of that word at all. It's just ending in a consonant, not a vowel beside it. Plain, regular word. Now let's look at nice. Now we have to think. because this word nice is going to apply to the second spelling rule there with large, the same concept there. So we want to take nice and add okay? N-I-C. We don't need this E, so we're going to drop it, and we're just going to add the suffix er. Nicer. Okay. Same thing. N-I-C. We're dropping that silent E because we don't need two E's. Nicest. Okay, it's just nice. Est. Nicest. She's the nicest lady I know. Okay? So, N-I-C-E. Today's a nice day. Tomorrow will be a nicer day. She is the nicest lady I know. All right. Now let's look at yummy. Okay. That is going to be the same as the third spelling rule with happy. Remember, when a Y comes, a consonant comes before the Y, we change the Y to I and then add our suffix. So yummy. That's a yummy cookie. Y. Now let's take to yummier. Y-U-M-M. Change the Y to the I and add E-R. Yummier. If you didn't, let me just for fun, let's put the way it would be spelled. Y-U-M-M-Y-E-R. Yummier. Yummier. I don't know how to pronounce that, but we need to make sure that we're changing that Y to I. Same thing. My mom makes the yummiest cookies. That's true. Okay, so let's go over. Y-U-M-M. Change that Y to I and add E-S-T. Yummiest. Just for fun, if you didn't, yummiest. Yummiest. Doesn't work. The Y needs to be changed to the I. That even looks weird. Okay? Flat. Now, flat is going to match with your first spelling rule there with big. Here you have flat. Now, here you notice there's a vowel beside a consonant. When we add a suffix that begins with a vowel, we want to double those consonants to keep the vowel short. Correct. So flat, let's change that to flatter. You're writing F-L-A-T-T-E-R. You're doubling those T's to keep that A short, just for fun. If you didn't, you'd have the word flater. Flater. Not a word. All right, so now let's flattest. Let's take it one step up. So let's come over. We're adding a suffix that begins with a vowel, and we have a vowel beside our consonant. So let's spell F-L-A-T-T. Good. E-S-T. Flattest. Flattest. If you didn't, if you just spelt it F-L-A-T-E-S-T, that would be, I'm sorry, that wouldn't be short. I'm sorry, that wouldn't be short, that would be long. Flattest. Okay, so just a good phonics rule, good spelling rule there. Double T's keep the vowel short. All right. So let's look at Think B. Write the correct adjective in the blank for each comparison. Today is colder or coldest than yesterday. You're only comparing 2 days, right? So you would write today is colder than yesterday. Let me erase just a little bit here so that we can be sure we're getting our spellings correct, and we'll go through these together. Number 1, just adding a good ER there, colder. No particular rule. Number 2, that star is the bright star in the sky tonight. Now you're comparing a lot of stars. So would we use ER or would we use EST? Right, EST because we're comparing more than 2 nouns. So B, you're writing bright est. Okay, out of all, it's the brightest star. Number 3, you're quite a bit tall than your sister. You're comparing how many people are there? 2. So we're just going to use ER. Tall, nothing changes, just add the ER. Number 4, Mom's apple pie is sweet than her cherry pie. So you're comparing 2 types of pie here, apple to cherry. So it's just 2 nouns. We don't need to know what's the sweetest of them all. We just need to know 2. So we're just going to add ER. Nothing special about sweet. We don't need to double the consonant or change a Y to I. So we're just going to add ER, sweeter. Number 5, excuse me 1 second, let me close this door. Okay, sorry. Number 5, you are the kind friend I have ever had. Now you're comparing more than 2 friends. I mean, you're comparing all the friends in your life. That's more than 2. So here we don't want to use we want to use est. You're the top of them all. The est, okay? So you are the kind, not anything significant about the spelling there, so kindest, just adding the est. Number 6, and we'll come over here in the center. This road is icy now than it was this morning. So you're comparing the road to what it was this morning. It would be it's just comparison to icier, but be careful. Icy ends in Y, so we have to change the Y to ICIER, icier, correct. And then number 7, after the race, the runners knew that James was the faster or the fastest? The fastest. That's correct. Okay, because you're comparing all the runners together. All right, so that's the end of our lesson today for language. We're just going to do page 152. If you have any questions or I don't understand something about it, please send me a note. But we're just comparing using and est in our adjectives. Okay? So on Monday, we will continue our study about adjectives and about comparisons. All right?